Hi everyone, it's your boy Ricky here with Romero Cards for Honeybee Stamps, and today I am here to show you how to make a card using their latest products from the latest release, Adventure Awaits. I'm really excited about this release because it's like the most masculine release that I've seen in a while, so masculine. But yeah, so I'm going to show you how we made this lovely lady today. So beautiful. And we're going to be using some of the latest products from the release. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. And also make sure that you head over to Honeybee Stamps by clicking the link down in the description and going to check out all their latest things. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so for this project, we're going to be using some various cardstock colors here, some greens and a brownish color. We're going to be using the Lovely Layers Trees die set, along with the Mini Messages Everyday Messages and Mini Messages Banners, which cuts all these out, and then the Tall Pine stencil we're going to be using today. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get some stenciling done. I have laid down my Altenew mat here, and along with a white piece of paper, this is 80-pound Nina Solar White Classic Crest. And we're going to be using some Concord and Ninth inks today, and we're just going to go ahead and get some blending done. This is in 4 steps, so there are 4 stencils. And basically, I am taking the lightest color here and just placing this all along the stencil where the tree is open. Now, this stencil is pretty neat because it is kind of a replica of a Christmas paper that Honeybee Stamps came out with last year, and I was totally obsessed with that paper. I think I have 3 of them now, 3 packs of it, because I love this paper. And this stencil replicates one of the patterns, or it's close to the pattern that was in the paper pad. So here we are with the second color here. It's the darkest color, and basically what I'm doing is covering it on the stencil, making some a little darker, some places a little darker, to kind of create like shadows and quotation marks here. Now we will go ahead and get this third stencil placed on to the paper, and we're going to get this all lined up here. And we'll go ahead with the next color, which is Tide Pool. I just want to take off some of that darker color because I didn't necessarily do these in the order that they were supposed to be done according to, lightest to darkest. So I didn't have to clean my brush, but anywho, that's where we are right now. So anyway, yes, this is a pattern of the paper pad that Honeybee Stamps came out with last year. I was totally obsessed. I used this specific paper, the replica of this in the paper pad, for so many Christmas cards last year. It was kind of ridiculous. That's why I needed like 2 more packs of this. All right, so there we have the reveal, and then we're going to place the 4th stencil on here. Now I went with some like mint greens, some like aqua colors here, but I'm excited to actually be able to make Christmas cards this year with non-traditional colors like pinks, like this color, some purples, just all different kinds of those colors would be pretty amazing on this card. Aqua Sky here is probably the lightest color that I'll be using. And yeah, and then also you're going to see here when I take this off, there's a little bit of white lines through here. All I did was take the lightest color and just blend over it a little bit if you don't like the white lines. But I don't mind it either way. I just decided to blend it in a little bit so that they weren't as obvious. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down to a little bit less than, or it's going to be 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to cut the edges off here because I want to do a little bit of ink blending along the edges. And you could probably see that as I was cutting it. I forgot to cut the paper before I did the ink blending. So I'm going to just take the darkest color here and just go all the way around the card panel here, just to give it, a little bit of dimension here. And, it does this thing. It kind of gives it a touch of fancy. That's what I like about it. What we'll do now is go ahead and use the Honeybee glue. Honeybee Stamps glue here and go ahead and get this placed down onto the card base. The card base is 110-pound Nina Solar White Classic Crust. And we're going to go ahead and get that laid down and placed onto the card base here. There we go, making sure it's all lined up, it's all good. Now what we're going to do is build the trees. This is so exciting. So the trees come in several pieces here. There's actually 3 trees. I'm only going to use 2 on this card, but the details I'm going to put on the lightest green, and then the base of the trees I'll put on the darkest, and then on this reddish brown I'm going to put the stems that go onto the trees in here. And I'm going to place them on the die cutting mat or die cutting plates here, and we'll just go ahead and get that ran through the die cutting machine. I did add a little shim to the textured ones because I want the texture to show up a lot more on the trees. So here we are, we have everything cut out. Rearranging my desk, I guess I kept this into the video. Real life crafter here, you guys. I'm going to remove all the little pieces in the paper here of both the small and the large tree so that we can go ahead and get these assembled. And here I am using my tweezers as the pokey tool, even though I have like 5 pokey tools right in front of me. But we're going to go ahead and get all those little pieces out. There we go. And then we're going to use the glue, and we're going to put the tree base, the stem. It's not a stem. It's bigger than a stem. What is this? Anyway, you guys know. It's the main part of the tree. It's what holds it all together, right? So the trunk? No, the trunk's the bottom. You guys, what is this whole thing called? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to use some foam strips here to go ahead and get this propped up. I wanted to add a little dimension. Now this, you don't have to do this. It's a little tedious because you have to put it in a lot of places behind the tree, but I like it. It gives it a touch of fancy. I'm all about the touches of fancy. And so that's what I'm going to do. I like it and I love it. So I got this down. We're going to go ahead and press this down, and I'm going to show it up close to you here, and maybe not so blurry. Here we go. So there's a little texture in there as well. You can see that, but that's what the tree looks like when it's all together. And we're going to do the same thing for the smaller tree here too. It's also just as tedious because you have smaller spaces to put the foam tape. But we'll release the backing here, and we'll go ahead and get this lined up as well. There we go. It looks amazing, almost. There we go. My head was in the way, but that's how you get things even. You get your head in the way. Okay, now that we have the trees put together, oh, I did put the stem on the little tree. We are going to be using the mini messages every day. And we're going to use how have you been? And basically, we're just going to put that on a block, and we are going to get all of our pieces for the heat embossing here. We're going to use the powder tool so that we can get all the static off the black piece of paper here, and we're going to use some embossing ink here. And then we'll just press this down onto the black paper just until you know, the ink is pretty soaked in. And then we're just going to pour some gold embossing powder over this and use the heat tool to get that taken care of. It's pretty, you guys, heat embossing is always so amazing to me. It's so magical. And when people see it, they're like, ooh, that's so neat. I love it. It is pretty cool, although you can't really see it here because I have it at a wrong angle. But let's see here. There we go. Look how shiny that is. It's so pretty. Okay, and now that we have that, we are going to go ahead and get the banner out. And we'll place some tape on that banner, and then we will run it through the die cutting machine so that we could get that all cut out and ready to go onto the card. Okay, now that we have that done, we are now at the building stage. We are at the final home run here. So I have the trees placed onto the card base already. Or I'm sorry, the stenciled paper is already on the card. We are going to use some liquid glue and place the first tree down onto the card base. We'll make sure he's good and stuck there. Not going to move. There we go. And then for the smaller tree, I wanted to make this look dimensional. So we are going to place a foam strip onto one side of the tree here, so it kind of sticks up over the bigger tree. So I'm just testing exactly where that strip needs to go, placing it onto the smaller tree. And what I'll do is I will put some liquid glue on the other side of this tree so that it actually sticks to the bigger tree so that it doesn't fall off. So the video is coming to an end. I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. Make sure that you head down to the description below and click the link and go over to the Honeybee Stamps website and check out all the great things that they released for the Adventure Awaits release. And also make sure you check them out over on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram. You can check out my videos over at Bromero Cards on YouTube. You can check out my reels and my other work over on Instagram, all by searching for Bromero Cards. And yeah, we have an ending to the video here. I just placed a foam tape on the sentiment and a little bit of glue, or we're going to place it above the small tree, and this card is complete. You could also put some sequins here, some gold sequins I think would be nice, but I didn't do that. It had enough a touch of fancy for me today. Anyway, here's the final card. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will talk with you later. Bye.